Why'd you guys go with mushrooms for Mushroom Men?
Mushrooms were an interesting scale. The owners of the company, Dan Borth and Chris Taylor, came up with this, and a fellow named Frank Turan, who lives actually in Jersey, put together a lot of the concept art for it. And they came up with just this beautiful idea of these alien creatures that are still within our world, and they're just moving around in that space. We talk a lot about an alien logic, sort of like what you see in H.P. Lovecraft, where it's an internal logic in and of itself, but it's not always comprehensible by humans, and we like that sort of absurdity and surreality to it, and so we work from there. They're first being created, first coming out of the earth in the DS version, and by this point they've actually developed into tribes, into a tribal system. So you're seeing sort of a social evolution happening there as well. Obviously the DS version is primarily that 2D gameplay in a 3D space. This one is more about the exploration of a character and an environment and just the different nationalities that you're going through. Also on the DS you play as one of 3 different characters, each with different abilities. We decided on the Wii version that we wanted to focus on a single character, Pax, to make him stronger and to explore him personally and to find out, we thought that we could tell a different story with that.
You mentioned how Wonder Boy is an inspiration.
Yes.
Are there any other games that you can specifically cite that played some kind of influence into this style?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of old Sega games played a lot of roles in the areas that I had control over. Interviewing the scripters or designers, I always ask them a game that they can come up with that is involving the rolling of an egg, because this absolutely fantastic game called Penguin Land is all about protecting this little egg and Nixon bears that will try and crush it. So it's an interesting game.
How come it's coming out on the Wii and not one of the other systems?
With the Wii, you can actually get by with a small, talented development team to actually create a game that looks as good as this one does, actually. Whereas with the 360 PS3, we would have just needed a lot more engineers, a lot more artists, a lot more content to do HD level, to do super high resolution textures and things like that. We were a small company. We started with 5 or 6 guys, and it was a team of veterans combined with new blood coming together to put this together. The Wii made sense. It was a fun platform. The motion controls worked really well with it, so it felt like a natural fit for us.
Is there any chance the character is venturing out into any other kind of medium? For example, is there going to be a PAX action figure? Because that'd be awesome.
Somebody actually made action figures that the game, I think it was GameStop, was offering for pre-order. And I am desperate to get my hands on one of those myself right now.
How involved was Les Claypool?
He was actually more involved than I would have given him credit for most people that just want to supply music, but him and his kids were actually tied in pretty closely with us. We've got about 8 or 10 tracks from him in the game. His children made some amazing concept art for us, and yeah, we were actually really grateful to work with him.
Without really giving away the ending, is this the beginning of a series, or is this?
Yes, absolutely. And the ending is one of the most surreal things you will experience in video games, and we hope people will be scratching their heads for years about that one.
Do you ever get to see a human at all in the game?
You do.
Okay.
You do. And his wife, but I'm not going to spoil that for you.
Okay.
His wife. You'll see.